Now we can start. Okay, since recording has started. Thanks everybody for joining us for this quick session on how to host a house party. Moms voted. Now it's time to organize. Hello, Trisha. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to just go through very quickly what are some tips and things that we can do to organize since we have now really gotten up and going. And I wanted to do a very quick video that is it's being recorded, so it will be available in our archives, and you'll be able to go. So if you're listening to this or watching this later on, please make sure that you tune in, take notes. I'm going to also go to our website. We're going to do a bit of screen sharing here because I first want to show you our Moms Clean Air Force website where you can find tools and resources, and then walk through a document on how to host a house party. House parties are the main way that we organize and convene here at Moms Clean Air Force, and it's a lot of fun, really easy, and a great way to get people together and talk about a issue that's really important to all of us. We call it different things, so you'll hear us use interchangeably. House party, cafecito, table talks, whatever you want to call it is great so long as you're bringing people together, but you'll hear us use those terms interchangeably. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to share my screen with you because the first place I want to take you to is to our Moms Clean Air Force website. And I have it up and ready to go here. So I'm going to see how well my my tools of sharing are working. Here we go. Let's see here. Yay, there we go. Victoria, can you see my screen? Thank you. And thank you, Victoria and Trisha, who are also online for helping us get through this and make sure it's being broadcast correctly. So our Moms Clean Air Force website is the one-stop shop for all of the resources that you need in order to effectively organize and put together a house party for Moms Clean Air Force. It's a great place to not only get your resources, as you see here. If you just go to the resource link, you'll find our fact sheets on a number of different issues. The one that we're working on right now is mercury. That's what we're asking everyone to put together a house party or a cafecito or a table talk, because if you've heard or watched our Facebook Lives, you know that we've been talking a lot about mercury, a lot about what the administration is trying to do in terms of rolling back some of the issues that some of the regulations that are protecting our children. So if you just click on mercury, it will take you to a host of online resources that you can go and you can actually print out about mercury. There's some great ones here, and I want to take a moment to talk about a couple of them. The first one that I want to point to is the Mercury Q&A. Let's see if it pulls up here. Yay, there we go. So this is something that I found really helpful because sometimes when you're having a conversation and you're talking about mercury and want to know, like, people will ask, okay, so why is this so important? Why is this an issue I should be worried about? We typically hear about mercury with respect to what you should and should not eat when you're pregnant. But this is a great resource and tool that you can talk at a house party or your organizing event about why mercury exposure is so harmful to babies' brains, what it does, and really sort of the ins and outs and how it works. So I love this resource. It's a great one. Another tool, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, is how to call your elected officials to talk about mercury. This is another great one because right now it's so important that our members of Congress hear from us of why this is so important to us. So we're going to go through a little bit later on how to host a house party, how to do an organizing event. One of the things I'm going to come back to, and you'll remember this, I'll say you got to have an ask. You want to make sure that the people who are coming to your event have something to do. And this is one of the easiest and quickest things to have people to do. So I want to make sure that you bookmark this, take a little moment, Bookmark it right now, so that you can come back to it and you know exactly where to go to tell and give people something to do. Okay? I'm going to go back here to our main page. As I said before, this is the one-stop shop for all things Mom's Clean Air Force. This button here that says Take Action is where you go to find what are some things that you can do. And we're going to go here to where it says Be a Force for Clean Air, because this is the 9 different things that you can do and sort of a how-to guide on doing a house party and doing an event. So this, again, if you don't have the details or you sort of forget what is it that I should do, where do I go, this is a really, really great tool and guide that our team has put together that really shows you just, what are some quick things that you can do. We call it armchair activism. So if you can't get out to an event, or maybe you have people who want to come to your event and they're asking, what are some things that we can do? How can we be involved? This is a wonderful resource because it goes through 9 different things that you can do to be involved with Mom's Clean Air Force. So as you see, the first one up here is to sign a petition, and we have several petitions that we're working on right now. I don't see our methane petition, but we'll get it up here. I'll find it. So signing a petition, we do make sure that we get our petitions to the people who need to see them. So we are a great resource of making sure that your voice is heard. You're connecting with moms all across the country, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, everybody. And this is a great way to show your unity. Picking up the phone, calling your elected officials. This is another great tool. Finding your senator's phone number. Let's start with that one real quick. See, these links are awesome. It takes you directly to the United States Senate, where you can find your senator's number and you can pick up and call them. So when I tell you that this is a really awesome site and tool, you want to bookmark this one as well, because this is what helps you to put together the things to do for your house party. Let's slide down. Writing a letter. Learn more. Again, we talked about arming yourself with the facts. That goes back to our previous page on resources. I'm going to come back to number 5, get social, in just a second. Joining us. If you're not a member of Mom's Clean Air Force, then before we finish today, I want to make sure that you are while you're on our website, or you take time to go to our website, and that you sign up with Mom's Clean Air Force to receive our newsletter, take an action, and bam, just like that, you're now a member of Mom's Clean Air Force. See, it's not that hard. We want as many members as we can possibly get to join us in our fight to protect children's health. Then showing up, we speak at public meetings, we talk to our elected officials, and you can do that right in your own community. Talking with your mayor or your council person, finding out what boards and commissions are open and available to you for you to share and speak on the issues that are concerning you and your community. These are all ways that you show up with Mom's Clean Air Force and are participating with us as we're working to help protect children's health from harmful air pollutions. And then party on. I'm going to get ready to go through a document here in just a second about how do you actually host a house party. And then finally donating, because every single dollar counts. We cannot do this without all of our volunteers and our wonderful donors that make this work possible. So if you've got $1 or $2, or do like I'm doing today, drink your own coffee and don't go to Starbucks, and take that $5 and send it to Mom's Clean Air Force. We appreciate each and every dollar that we get. I promise you we do. I said I was going to come back to number 5. Number 5 is probably one of the ones that I love and enjoy the most, because this is our social media. And let's face it, social media is how we are communicating in this day and age. If it's on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. It's how people are connecting in their own communities. And of course, in our moms community, we like to love and share. We love on our members, but also share all the great things that are happening in our communities, and we do that on social media. So that's the second thing you're going to do. The first is you're going to become a member of Moms Clean Air Force by signing up for our newsletter. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to go onto Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and make sure that you're following us so that you're getting all of our social updates. And we want to see your pictures and things as well. So please make sure that you're always tagging us at Moms Clean Air Force. And hey, you may get a shout out. We love to see all the activity, especially the faces of our kids all over this country and the things that they're doing for clean air. So with that, we're now going to go to our here. All right, so I'm going to now go to our document of um, house parties. And let's get this one up. All right. So this is our Moms Clean Air Force. What are house parties, and how do we do our organizing here at Moms Clean Air Force? So house parties are basically very, very casual gatherings where you have people in your circle come over to talk about and to learn about air pollution and climate, how these issues are impacting the family and the communities. And house parties are really great ways to share stories and make connections. You know, it's about sitting around the coffee table, the kitchen table, and you can find commonalities and share stories of what's happening with respect to pollution and climate in your community, whether it is some of the changes and challenges that come as a result of extreme weather that you're experiencing in your community, or if it's air pollution, or if it's your children are seeing that they're having or suffering from asthma on a certain day of the week. We learn more when we're together in groups, and that's exactly what house parties do. They bring us together in groups so that we have an opportunity to talk with one another and to share our stories, and then to plan and make action items so that we can address these issues in our local, our state, and our federal government. And we're here to help you do that. So what we're going to talk about is, what are the goals? How do you do it? And then what does a draft plan for a house party look like? Because it's so important that you have a plan of action of how to do one of these events. If you're like me, like I love to have people over, and if there's not a specific plan, the house party can turn into a card party just like that. But we want to make sure that we stay on focus and stay on point. So this is a great document that talks about, what is the purpose of a house party, what is it, and what do you do? And I want to go down to what our goals are. So the house party goals are to bring like-minded members of the community together, to hear opportunities to get involved with Moms Clean Air Force, have an opportunity to engage in discussions about air pollution, climate change, or environmental health hazards that you see that are impacting the community. It also is an opportunity to build and solidify relationships in your community. Find people who are like-minded who also have some of the same concerns, and then to actually take meaningful action on the issues and volunteer to be a part of the change in your community. There are a couple of materials that are definitely helpful, not required, but helpful. And if we can help in any way, please make sure that you reach out to us so we can try to get you some of the materials that you need. Folders are helpful. You don't have to have them, but it's really nice if you have some type of folder that you can put materials in, if you have card copies, and that way you just hand it to everybody that's present at the event, and they'll have it to take back with them and to read when they're away, or if they want to and you want to go through some of the materials while you're enjoying your event and house party, it would be a very neat and organized way to do that. You can have papers that end up scattered out all over the place, but having it in a folder is a really nice, neat way to do it. Sign-in sheets. Sign-in sheets are so important, but believe it or not, it's one thing that people forget. So we try to make sure that we remind you over and over and over again, please get a sign-in sheet. And on that sign-in sheet, you want a name, you want a telephone number, and you want an email address. Now, we also have spaces, and we ask that you collect addresses, but the things that you really want to make sure you get somebody's name and ask them to print legibly so that we can all read it and we can make sure that we follow up. The email address, make sure is something that we want to have to make sure that we remain in communication and that you can remain in communication. And then finally, the telephone number is very helpful to communicate with people and follow up. The address, again, it's important to have, but if I had to say my top three: name, legibly written, email address, and telephone number. All of that, though, is on the sign-in sheet. Pens, you want to make sure that you have your pens so that people are not reaching in their bag trying to find something to write with. T-shirts. We have Mom's Clean Air Force T-shirts. And that we are happy to share with you if you're going to be hosting one of these. At the end of this session, I will give you the instructions on how to get some materials. But a t-shirt is very, very helpful because we're identified by our red t-shirts when you see us on the Hill or out in the community. We also have coffee mugs, name tags, other little gifts and things that we like to give away. We don't have a lot of these resources, but we do try to share what we have. And if you have an event that's coming up, and send us a note and say, hey, Heather, Victoria, Tricia, we have about 15 people coming that have confirmed. This looks like it's going to be a really big event. Can you send us a few goodie items? We'll be happy to ship you a couple of things that may be great to encourage people to be more involved in your community. So this is just sort of an idea of what we have. Easy to make name tags. You can just get plain stickers and make sure that people know the name, write their name legibly. That's another good way to have great relationship. And then thank you cards, because it's very important to thank everyone for coming. There are lots of other materials that you can have, but these are just some of the basics that we like to make sure that we have at all of our events, okay? So before a house party, a couple of things you want to do. Find a host location. They can be at your house or a volunteer's house, maybe a coffee shop or a library, a public place. Perfectly fine to have a house party or a coffee party in any of these spaces. You don't have to have a huge amount of people, right? So you don't have to have 25 people to have an effective house party. You can have 5 to 7 people and be sitting in the corner of your local Starbucks or your local coffee shop and have a perfectly fine house party or cafecito. It's great to be able to bring people together, and that's the important piece that we're talking about here, is actually bringing people together. So find a great location for your event, then confirm the date, the time, and the location. Just make sure that they have that space available for you, or if you're at someone's house, you want to make sure that you're confirming that with them. Invite a few local organizations to join as partners in the event. If it's at someone's house, you can always ask them if they maybe have local organizations that they're familiar with. I always say, believe it or not, invite your local officials. Yes. Send a note to City Hall or to your state representative. Even if you're just sending a note, you would be surprised at how many of them will send someone, come themselves, or send a note just saying thank you for the invite. It makes a tremendous difference when you do that. Invite your local network. Use email, Facebook, Twitter, phone calls, text. Carrier pigeons and smoke signals work just as well. Whatever you need to do, just make sure that you're connecting with your group, and you start with your circle first, because those are the people that you listen to, right? We listen to the people who are closest to us, and so you want to make sure that you're inviting your own network. And then you want to confirm that. Now, I will say, if you're doing something in your personal home, a lot of this is very, very flexible, because we don't always want to put your personal home address on Facebook and Twitter because it is the privacy of your own home. But just make sure that people that are coming do know exactly where they're going to be coming, and what they're going to be doing or bringing. That brings us to the next piece of what you should do before a house party. If you want to make sure that people are coming, ask them to do something. So ask someone who's coming to bring snacks, or maybe one of the persons who's coming, ask them if they can just bring a collection of the pens from their house so that you have pens there. Make sure that everybody has something to do. So if you have 5 to 7 people that are going to be there, have somebody bring a snack, somebody bring a drink, somebody bring the paper, somebody else bring the pens, and then somebody assigned to take pictures with their camera phone. Everybody has a job, and it ensures that everybody is participating. If your event is someplace maybe where we have a Moms Clean Air Force field team member there, check in with us. We are happy to promote your event on our Facebook page and tweet about your event as well. Remember, I told you, like, one of my favorite things was social media? Tweet us, send us all the pictures, all of them. We'll be happy to share the work that you're doing and the work that you're doing in your own community. Make sure that you're touching base with your host to make sure that you have enough chairs, and that if you need anything, for example, if you'd like to show the Moms Clean Air Force website, make sure you have Wi-Fi that's available. You want to confirm all of these things before your event. The next thing I want to talk about is crowd building. So if you're going to do a small event, 5 to 7 people, you don't really have to crowd build. But if you say, hey, you know what, Heather, this is a really important issue in our community, and we want to do this at our local library. I've got an access to the side room. We want to get this out. We support it 100%. So there are different things that we do and use in order to help crowd build. Social media, social media, social media. It is a powerful tool that we have to use more and more, and it's certainly an asset in terms of how we build our crowds. Use the social media to promote excitement about your event. Take pictures. Facebook Live. You can't tell by now, I love Facebook Live, love video. And people love to see real people. So you don't have to have on all your professional makeup and dress a certain way. Hey, you can take it from your kitchen. It's a way to invite people to come out and to be a part of something that's real. Make sure that you're inviting your local community groups, local organizations. If you're at a church, you want to invite your church members, or maybe people who are in the PTA or your local babysitting group. Find the people that you are typically around and make sure you invite them. There's nothing worse than having an event and then the day after the event you run into somebody and they're saying, oh, hey, I heard you had this thing yesterday. I would have loved to come. I didn't know any information about it. Mind blown. Because you had an opportunity, or there are people who are interested in your event, obviously heard about it, but they just need a bit more information. So use social media, text messaging, tag people on Facebook. You can use all those tactics to crowd build. All right. During the house party, you want to make sure that you are going back over the things that we just talked about for your actual setup. So just showing up early, making sure that you're there, that you're greeting everyone, that you've introduced yourself maybe to those people that you don't know. If they're all people you know, that's great. Have everybody come on in. You're going to come in, share with them about Moms Clean Air Force. And even if this is your first introduction to the organization, it could be something as simple as, I found this really cool organization, Moms Clean Air Force, and they're dedicated to protecting our kids from air pollution, and I thought this was something really great to share. You just shared Moms Clean Air Force. You sound like an expert already. So, you don't have to be completely and totally just up to speed on all of our mission. Take some time to read through what our information says, but as a member, you're part of us, and this is a part of learning together. So again, you can share about Moms Clean Air Force and give an overview simply by saying there's a great organization. We're going to learn about it together, and I've got their website, and let's go through it today. We do want you to discuss some urgent air pollution issues, and this is where the resources on the website come in handy. Then you want to make sure that you make an ask asking all the people who are coming to do something, if it's contacting their member of Congress, if it's writing, if it's signing a petition, that there should be an ask. We also ask that people fill out a pledge to vote card. Now, I know you're going to say this seems really strange, Heather, because the elections are over and the next election is not till 2020. You're right. However, it's never too early to start making sure that people are registered to vote and that they're always reminded that voting is a regular part of our American duty. So we constantly remind people to vote off and on year elections. So you will always see Moms Clean Air Force of having as a part of what we do just a nice reminder, hey, are you registered to vote? Don't forget to vote, because it's when we have people in office that are environmental policy minded, that we get to make some of these changes that we need to make for our kids. And then make sure that you take a picture of everybody there. Don't forget the pictures. And that you thank everyone and let them know that you're going to be following up with them. So, real quick, it is make sure you're there early, greet everyone, share about Mom's Clean Air Force, talk about an air pollution issue. We've got lots of them online. And like I said, the one we're talking about right now is mercury. Make sure that they're reminded to vote. Take a picture and thank everyone who attended, and then let them know that you're going to be following up with them, okay? Those are the basics of just how to do a house party. After the event, we want to make sure that you let us know how it went, right? So you're going to contact Victoria, who is our coordinator with Moms Clean Air Force, and you're going to let her know how many people attended, what actions you've planned to take as a result of the house party, and you can email Victoria, and she will get all that information from you. And then you're going to follow up and thank the attendees and remind them of what they're committed to do. And hey, thank them via social media and let other people know that you are encouraging them to do the same thing that you just did. It is super easy to do a house party. It is not rocket science. And this is the basics of organizing, because this builds and builds and builds. Think about it. If I do one and have asked 5 to 7 of my friends to have a house party, that has just been multiplied by 5 to 7 people. And that's how we can get the word out about the issues that are concerning our community. So finally, I have some do's and don'ts. You do want to confirm people who we say are registered, or who have RSVP'd, or who have just said, hey, I'm going to come. Doesn't have to be anything formal, but you do just want to check in and remind them, hey, you said you're going to come. Can we count on you to make sure we have the pens and the pencils we need? Give everybody a job to do, they'll show up. Practice your remarks, telling your personal story, why you care. You should practice it at home, practice it with your kids. One of the most common things for people that I hear from people is they say, Heather, I'm not really comfortable talking in public, but we are really comfortable when we can start to talk about our own personal stories, and it just begins to open up opportunities to share what we're experiencing. So you should practice just a little bit. Smile and be friendly. You should always do that. And then keep the talking sections short. You don't have to give a whole 30-minute speech like I have done today, but you can certainly have lots of opportunities to let people just tell their story, share the materials. This does not have to be a long 4-hour event. You can get all this done in an hour. And then have a lot of fun taking pictures on social media, because people see that we are acting and then they want to join in. And it also gets the attention of the policymakers when they see and they know that so many moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas are actively fighting and gathering and organizing around air pollution and protecting children's health. Okay? If there are things that you don't want to do, don't let anyone leave without signing that sign-in sheet. If you got to grab them when they're going out the door, say, did you sign the sign-in sheet? Make sure that we get a good number and that we know everyone who is present. Don't forget to follow up and tell them thank you. And then don't talk for more than 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes is a long time to talk. But try to keep it short and sweet, and it keeps it moving. We have an example of a house party agenda, and we're going to make all of this available on our site. So we're going to upload this PDF so that you have an opportunity to go back through and see what are some things that you can change, can tweak, some things that you need. But most importantly, we just want you to know that we're here as a resource if you want to organize and do an event and do a house party. Because again, at Moms Clean Air Force, we're dependent upon you, our volunteers, to make sure that we're spreading this word throughout all the networks. Everybody's network is not going to look alike, and it's perfectly fine because we're a wonderful, diverse organization, and our main message is making sure that we're getting out to protect children and children's health from the harmful impacts of air pollution and climate change. But we need you to do that. And so this is a easy way that you can share the message of Moms Clean Air Force. Now, once you have listened to all of this and you have stayed with us for this whole 30-minute period, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to send us an email at Moms Clean Air Force. And hold on just a second. Yay, there I am. I'm back. Wonderful. So what you want to do is you're going to send us a note to say, hi, I listened to or I watched the Moms Voted. Now it's time to organize a video that you all did, and I am excited about doing my own house party. What do I do next and what do I need next? Yay, we're super excited too. Shoot us an email, and you're going to, in that email, tell us the date and place of your tentative house party, as well as the number of people that you expect to come to your house party. And then we're going to send you a nice little care package that will have a couple of pieces of materials in there. Let us know if you have a t-shirt or not, and we can send you a t-shirt so that you can have that to wear for your house party. And all of this is going to go to Trisha and Victoria. Victoria, who you see is our coordinator in the office, and she's the one who actually puts together the stuff to send you. So Victoria is the woman to know. And then Trisha is our national field manager, and Trisha helps to coordinate all of our volunteers all over the country, and so she will know who's doing house parties maybe in your same state or in your region. And again, another great person to know, and we'd all be super excited and just want to make sure that you have as much information as you possibly need for this. So I am going to put in the comments now Victoria's email address. And it's in the chat section. So I want you to go right there. Send Victoria an email. Victoria, I did put that correctly, I believe. Yes, I did. Send Victoria an email, and you're just going to say, yes, I listened to the whole video, and I am ready to move forward and start my house party. Again, the things that you want to send us is the date, the time of your house party, and the number of people. And then we will respond back to you and get you out a little packet of information so that you can host your wonderful house party. Yay, see how easy that was? That was wonderful. Thank you for listening and for joining us. We cannot wait to see all the photos that you have from doing your house parties and events all over this country. Before we sign off, we've gone over by about 5 minutes. Trisha, did you have anything you wanted to add? Trisha or Victoria? Yes.
No, thank you, Heather. You covered everything. Hi, everyone. Super excited to see all these house parties, so thanks for walking us through.
Wonderful. Well, great, everybody. This will be available if you know someone who needs to do one or needs to listen and get this information. Send them here. We'll have all this on our website. Go have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye.